Welcome to our competitive for January. I'm Eamon Conahan. I'm here with Ken Lee to discuss one of the most popular tweets from the competitive tag during the month of January. And this month we find ourselves talking about an amusing article that ran in The Guardian. I think it appeared in a few other publications as well. And it's headed up with the line, "Scientists take to Twitter to reveal their less than scientific methods." And it talks about an amazing, it is amazing, but also amusing hashtag that's broken out called Overly Honest Methods. And it all started with a neuropharmacologist, researcher and blogger called Lee, when she tweeted, "Incubation lasted 3 days because this is how long the undergrad forgot the experiment in the fridge." And that spurred a whole lot of copycat hashtags where people came out and revealed all sorts of shortcuts and amusing anecdotes from the lab. And I'm here, of course, with Ken Lee, who spent a good number of years in the lab. Do some of these ring true for you, Ken?
I was once that undergrad who left the experiment in the fridge. No, this definitely rings true, and I think that's why this went viral. There's been about 7,300 tweets since this first popped in early January. That's about 150 to 200 tweets per day. So
Right.
It tells you something, that scientists really relate to this, and it's quite amusing, as you said. So I think those are definitely some of the things that go into its virality. But we actually, Eamon, I took a look. When you have something that's viral, it usually spawns copycats or spawns something else. And there's another University of Birmingham researcher who put together a collection of her top 75 tweets in a Storify. And if you look at those, the top number one bucket, about 40% of those people, there's an element of convenience here. One of my favorite tweets is this: "This dye was selected because the bottle was in reach." Right? That's certainly the stereotype outside the lab, is that scientists are precise, that there's a reason for everything that they do.
They approach everything with vigor, and they're not going to take shortcuts.
Exactly. That there's rationale, that there's the left brain is overriding the right brain. The more convenient, it was within reach, and that happened to me in my lab. That's what I'm saying. Scientists can relate to this. I didn't like wearing gloves. I didn't like working with radioactivity. I didn't like working in the cold room. These are things that I don't have to worry about here at Competitive Group.
No, now that you've crossed to the dark side, life is so much easier. But yeah, no, there were some funny ones. I'd like to share a couple of my favourites. And one, I know that, Ken, when you went through the Storify, where they brought together 73 of these tweets, that you discovered these buckets, and by far the most dominant one was convenience. There was another bucket that...
Yeah, you told me not to say lazy.
One of the other buckets that you found was one called fun, and I think this tweet would belong in it. "The Eppendorf tubes were shaken like a Polaroid picture until that part of the song ended," which is just really cool, and I think it shows the personality and the fun side of scientists, which I think is sometimes left out of marketing, because when people go to market with message, they're so concerned about maintaining their credibility and sounding serious and being someone that a scientist can trust, which of course makes sense. But by the same token, sometimes we do that at the expense of recognizing that there are genuine personalities out there, there are funny people, and there are people that might find an amusing hook to a bit of marketing, something that they would relate to and attractive. Another one that was kind of cool: "We didn't read half of the papers we cite because they were behind a paywall." Which just goes to show some of the day-to-day practicalities that scientists, I guess particularly in academia, who don't have big budgets to work with, run into.
Well, I mean, that shows you how smart scientists are. They can show big by putting all those references down, but did they necessarily read them?
Yeah.
Hey, maybe they did.
Well, it was exactly like me. I mean, I wouldn't underestimate how smart English graduates are. I said that I read a lot of books where I only read the back dust cover. So.
Well, I mean, what's the lesson here for marketers?
Well, I think there's a couple of lessons. One is, as I think I just referred to in passing there, that personality should not be overlooked. Scientists aren't robotic. They are very personable, funny, amusing people, and they're going to relate to stuff when we go out to market with copy or with marketing ideas that have personality. The other is, I think you've worked up, and I'm hoping we're going to have this appear on our website as an infographic, is that by actually picking through these tweets, you can see some of the drivers that shape scientists' behavior.
Yeah, I think this is useful intelligence for scientists looking at these tweets, and it's it's a very pseudo-scientific way of looking at it, but we mentioned convenience. There's a couple other buckets that really help explain scientific behavior that marketers can use these insights. One, for example, is the ability for scientists to blame others for things that they did not do, whether it's their PI who's too ancient and can't understand what a qPCR experiment is, or we just talked about the undergrad who left the experiment in the fridge for 3 days, and that's how long it took, the incubation, as well as just the sense of futility. Sometimes science, it's a hypothesis. It's not something that's already true. It's something you're trying to prove true.
Right.
And it's most likely going to be false. So you're going to fail. So you did mention, I think we should leave this now. And as we exit in the outro, Barry, the song Shaken Like a Polaroid Picture comes out from Hey Ya.
Yeah.
And I think that should be our outro music. So this is Ken Lee.
And I'm Conahan.
Please send us your favorite #overly honest methods @competitive. Thank you.
Cheerio.